Hello and good afternoon, classmates. My name is Linda, and with me in group number 1 are Jimmy, Austin, Tommy, and Anthony. The human resources management issue we focused on was workplace discrimination. So we were lucky enough to interview a gentleman who has been in the hospitality business for nearly 30 years. Starting his career right out of high school, Roman never expected to become the owner of a business that oversees successful bars and restaurants. Established in 2010, TST Brothers Group Incorporated now has numerous establishments in Chinatown, Los Angeles, Hollywood, and even Las Vegas. With roughly 30 staff members per location, overseen by 3 managers each, the company at one time had up to 130 employees on its payroll. With this responsibility comes important policies that must be followed at all times. A very important subject is workplace discrimination. So follow along as we explain to you how Roman, the president of TST Brothers Group Incorporated, handles these issues.
Discrimination in the workplace is one of the issues we define and research for a project. Unfortunately, discrimination against race, color, national origin, religion, gender, age, or disability happens everywhere. Fortunately, the ones mentioned just now are protected by the EEOC. However, discrimination such as favoritism through friendship and family members are not. In some cases, implementing favoritism might be legal in some companies. Also, as you can see pictured on the bottom right, discrimination in the workplace can also include social exclusion and xenophobia, in which is disliking people from other countries. As you can see from the slide, result of discrimination includes creation of hostile work environment, low morale, and low motivation among employees, loss of excellent employees, and it sometimes leads to ruining company's reputation. So why does workplace discrimination happen? Our group believes that it happens due to lack of training provided, poor leadership, and different beliefs of different people. As for our project, when our group was interviewing Roman, the president of CSC Brothers Group, he told us one of the discrimination issues he had with one of his employees. He mentioned to us that an employee was being aggressive and hostile towards female customers. This behavior from this employee made both internal and external customers uncomfortable and unsafe, in which leading it to a hostile work environment. When other employees saw this problem, they immediately reported this issue to their chain of command. Upon hearing complaints from other employees, the supervisor gave a warning to this employee. However, even after getting his first warning issue, this employee continued to be hostile towards female customers. Then he got a second warning and ignored the second warning as well, and ultimately got terminated. The problem here is clearly gender discrimination. What I like about this situation is that the other employees were not scared to report this issue to their chain of command. And upon hearing employees' complaints, the supervisor reacted quickly and directly intervened with the problem to this employee. In the end, he did not listen, so it was the right thing done by the TST Brothers Corporation to let go of this employee.
So in my section, I will be talking about discrimination in recruitment and selection. So in the hospitality industry, unfortunately, discrimination is very present. However, with numerous laws being put into place, it protects those from anti-discrimination laws, such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So as a business owner, Roman, even though he is required to, wanted to be an equal opportunity employer when recruiting, selecting, and hired a qualified individual. He informed me that he is looking for someone with the experience and qualification, and he doesn't see race, gender, or any other factor. And even though he is required to, the U.S. Equal Employment Commission, or the EEOC, is a federal group tasked to enforce the rules of equality and ensure no one is discriminated against when seeking employment. But with these laws being put into place and protecting those individuals from being discriminated, how does this apply when being interviewed? So in our interview with TST Brothers Group Incorporated, President Roman, I asked him what was the process that he goes through when interviewing and recruiting candidates. And one of the things that he told me was that he uses numerous apps and websites, including PoachLA and LinkedIn, when searching and recruiting for candidates. PoachLA is an app that primarily targets hospitality majors and hospitality students coming directly out of college. He wants to give those who work the hardest, who are ready to work, the best opportunity possible. And also LinkedIn too, when it comes to upper management. He also uses personal recommendations as well, but these are very rare as he only takes these personal recommendations when coming from those within the industry. So as an employee of TST Brothers Group Incorporated, I was given a formal interview. And the formal interview is always structured the same way. It is through preset number of questions, and depending on your position, such as an entry level, your interview will be conducted by a manager. However, if you are going to be applying for a manager position, then you'll receive a formal interview with an owner, as well as demonstrating your skills through various tasks. So upon selection, if you're hired, the candidate will be offered a position, given a proper job description, a handbook, and orientation date to be scheduled. As a corporation, Roman wanted to know that he prides himself upon being a hospitality company that is equal and fair. Throughout the numerous locations throughout the US, he wanted to ensure that there is consistency in safety, equality, and being comfortable within the workspace, because he knows that if an employee does not feel safe within the company, they won't be able to produce effectively.
Before we jump to the solution, we would like to talk about the common issues which are related to this topic. As our team has mentioned, TST Brothers chose to fire the employee after he received 2 warnings. That is actually the best way to handle a hostile employee in the workplace. Some of the small business may do it differently. They might fire the employee right away. And that is actually not a good solution because it will decrease the profit. So first, it will increase the emotional cost. As we discussed in the lecture, a bad stressor will decrease employees' performance. Firing an employee may cause emotional stress to other team members, and it may impact their performance. Firing a current employee will also increase the cost of training. Therefore, a profitable company would like to keep their turnover rate as low as possible. We also agreed that a company should be responsible for the employees' failures. Companies should evaluate themselves regarding the information provided during the orientation. Discrimination should be one of the most important part of it. In the hospitality industry, what we evaluate the most are diversity and tolerance. Therefore, a company should also evaluate their socialization process. Now we have finished the issues. Please allow me to share our solutions regarding the discrimination in the workplace. Once there is a hostile employee in the workplace were found, as an HR management team, we need to perform some corrective actions. Retraining an employee will always be the priority, but the retraining process should be targeting employees' failures. In that case, employees could better understand their failures, so they could better perform next time. Furthermore, the anti-discrimination policy should be covered into company's zero tolerance policy, and it should also be contained into employees' manual. The reason why we are suggesting corrective action toward employees' failure is because we do want our employees to progress in their future career, and we sincerely hope we can motivate our employees by providing them a comfortable workplace. Thank you all. That's our presentation.